Hi guys. I just have to say that I absolutely adored this movie.
Yeah.
I found myself getting choked up multiple times, and I'm just like, who am I? What what are
You're
we?
human. You have a heart. That's who
I,
you are.
I know. And normally I don't, so thank you for,
Okay, good, good, good.
for
Now you have a heart. Yeah.
now I have one. And I think it's
Yeah.
good, like this can like you could watch a trailer and be like, oh, it's just gonna be a cute queer rom-com. And I'm like, no, it's so much more than that. And it's like about these people who are just figuring out who they are and this like nuclear family that's going through some growing pains who want to be accepting. Because like as we progress as people, things change and it's like hard for some people as much as they want to be like, I'm super accepting of this. And like
Hmm.
everyone's going through something. And it just kind of lets you into these little moments that you don't necessarily either get or see in movies. So I just want to ask you guys about like the theming throughout the film. Like, what was that like for you? And like, was it cathartic? Was it easy? Were you just like, it's a thing. I've had these conversations with my family multiple times, you know?
No, it was really cathartic, and I think both of us are in different places of exploring our identities with the context of our families. So we were both actively experiencing many things while we were filming. And it's interesting because rom-coms feel like such a trivial genre, but that's because people make them feel trivial. Like the outside audience, they're often the worst reviewed movies. And even the phrase itself, rom-com, sounds like it's going to be a trivial, insubstantial thing, which is strange because literally what is more profound or consequential than love? And romance stories used to be the dominant story in the 19th century, Jane Austen, etc. And we've now turned them into this like sideshow of direct-to-DVD entertainment when it's actually what we need to be watching more than ever. And it's the thing that's the most likely to affect us. This happens to be very specific because it's about our experience and the experience of other gay South Asians, but it is nevertheless as wide-ranging in its accessibility as something like Notting Hill.
Carl, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's such an interesting thing because movies are now in 2025 have to have spectacle or set pieces or all this stuff, which is great when it's done really well to have that experience, which is very technically interesting. But I think what Roshan was saying, which is like ultimately, I think what is also a spectacle that we don't acknowledge enough is just feeling emotion and walking into a movie with an idea of I have certain preconceptions of these characters, and by the end, I leave with a way greater understanding. And to me, the secret weapon of the movie is the parents. I think many people go into it being like, oh, these characters are sort of the butt of the joke, and they're kind of, but by the end, they are the ones that you're like, I want to grow old and be like that. And that's the magic of the movie, is I think it kind of humanizes a lot of these people that you might not sort of know. And to me, that should be spectacle that's celebrated too, which is the experience of watching this movie in a room with a bunch of people and having that cathartic experience of like, I feel like I've grown in some way or just understand a different person better. And I think this movie has spectacle in that way.
Yeah.
And I think
Absolutely.
it feels like going to a wedding weirdly, like literally going to
Mhm.
attend a wedding because you're experiencing with other people something exhilarating, something emotional, something funny, something full of love. So it's an experience that's really tethered to watching it in a theater, is an important part of it.
Absolutely. And just speaking of theaters, I need your profile photo to just be the costume that you're wearing when you are in the Bollywood movie. Like,
Yes.
make that your
Oh my
profile for
God.
everything, please.
Oh
Like,
my
yeah.
gosh, that was so awkwardly fitted on me, but they did a great job. I think the costume designer found like the real jacket from that original movie, which was like this Harley Davidson jacket and everything. It was very iconic. And then I had a horrible wig. That's really what's doing a lot of the work was the wig.
That's what sells it
And
now.
my little bit that I did that day was I didn't tell anyone it was a wig, and I just showed up and I was like, it's my hair. And everyone was kind of like looking at me like, we're so sorry. And I was like, I promise it's a horrible wig. But It's yeah, in the
Mhm.
no. trailer, and I keep thinking, like, what are people thinking about his hair in that scene? Because there's no context in the trailer. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
But it's so funny. But I love what you were saying about rom-coms because my favorite rom-com is My Best Friend's Wedding, which
I
is
love that movie. Oh
and
my
it
God.
doesn't have a happy ending. And that's what like
Hmm.
it's like a little more real life, right? It's like timing, it's things like that. And with this, like you said, the parents are absolutely the secret weapon. All those very vulnerable moments of, especially with the father and his scene
Hmm.
with you, and Z's with her, with the dog, when she comes, when you guys are building furniture or the furniture is being built for
Yep.
you, right?
Hmm.
And there's nothing that really gets you more than your parents.
Yes.
And you could they could say one thing and you're so mad at them. And it's literally like, how are you today?
I know the parents are single-handedly funding therapists all over the world. So, we
Yeah.
mind into that emotion for sure.
So I love that because watching your character's journey through his love story, I have a gay brother. And so
Hmm.
watching that with my parents' dynamic growing up, it's very similar.
Hmm.
It's so I'm like I'm telling him to watch this movie. I'm like I
Oh,
feel so
good.
hopeful and so cathartic for you
So
because it's
fun.
so good. And I
Yeah.
just want to ask about working with Jonathan Groff. I think even if he sang with to me awkwardly on the street, I would fall in love with him anyway.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean he's the most charming person on the planet. And this was such a personal movie for me and Russian. And we actually going into it, it's so hard to make any movie, so we weren't even imagining what it would be like to make it until we were actually making it. We were just trying to get to make it, and everyone kept being like, "Is this going to be awkward for you guys? Because you're a couple, and then you're like falling in love with someone else, and he's telling you to fall in love, and you're proposing." And then we were like, it might be awkward. Like we hadn't thought about it, but then Jonathan arrived and he made us so comfortable and feel so at ease that like we were like, we couldn't have done this without him in many
Yeah.
ways.
He single-handedly choreographed the sex scene because we at the end of it we're like we don't know how to have sex because he knows like he's got some expertise I sensed.
Yeah.
But on my way to set one day I passed this lady walking a little puppy and the puppy was just bouncing along serenely and I was like that puppy has the exact personality of Jonathan Groff. He is always cheerful. He's always so kind and so loving. When we were shooting a scene he saw someone had like tattooed a heart onto a sidewalk and he almost started weeping. He like is so full of love and brightness, and none of it is an affectation. It's
No.
all genuinely just pouring out of him.
And I will say, as a bucket list of just Hollywood, I got to have some of his spit on my face. This is the famous thing with Jonathan, where
It sounds so wrong.
he has a lot of liquid that comes out. So when he was singing to me in that sequence, one take a little bit did go in my face, and he was like, "I'm so sorry." I was like, "No, this is what I was hoping would happen, and it did
Yeah.
happen." So I'm very happy.
You got your King George moment, is what you're
Yes,
saying.
yes, yes, exactly. I did. I really did. Not that intense, but enough. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
My Prince George, I got. Yeah.
Bridge George, yeah. And then my last thing for you, as you said, like people see clips of trailers, you can be like, go see this movie from me, but I like to get it from you guys. So
Mhm.
tell the audience why they need to go see A Nice Indian Boy in theaters on Friday when it comes out this weekend.
So you can feel happy for once in your life because everything is miserable out there.
I think it's a movie that no matter how your day is going, good or bad, you will leave the movie feeling even better than you did before. And it's a movie that so rarely movies do this, but when they do, it's my favorite feeling where you just feel kind of happy and good about the world at the end of it. And it just fills you with joy and that feeling. And it kind of is relentless. Like we've seen people that are like not in the mood for it, watch the movie and at the end be like happy, and people who wanted to like it even more than they imagined. So it's a little serotonin boost if you're in the need of that.
I love that. I was that yesterday when I was like,
Oh,
I
good.
have to watch this movie. I'm
Yeah.
grumpy today. Like I've just been grumpy. And then I was like,
Sure.
put me in the best mood. And I loved it so
Oh,
much.
I'm glad. Yeah. So I'm not lying.
You're not. That was
Yeah,
literally
you're
me
a
just being
testimony.
grumpy,
Okay,
having a
good.
grumpy
Perfect.
day. Well, thank you so much. Everyone see it. Nice City Boy. It's so good. Also, The Resident, by the way, is one of my favorite shows, and I was very sad to see it go. I
Oh.
haven't even finished the last season because I don't want to say goodbye
Yeah,
yet.
you want to say goodbye to them? Well, that's so sweet. Yeah, I was a resident when that show was picked up, so it's forever ago.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been lovely.
Thank you. So nice
Thank
meeting
you.
you.